to be back. It's been a little while. I've been pretty busy with all kinds of things since I would have last been here. I had a very full December with lots of good food and family time, and it's my favorite month of the year, I think. Well, okay, no. I think it's... I have a lot of feelings. It's hard to sort through them all. I just love December. It's so full of love and happiness, and just like you get to see everyone you love and eat lots of good food, and like those are all my favorite things. But anyways, on New Year's Eve, right after midnight and after we had all finished like celebrating and cheersing and whatever, I like introspected for a moment and then realized that it's now January, and January is like the longest and coldest and hardest month of the year. At least for me. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in feeling that way, because the contrast of January from December is just, at least for me, like so stark, and it's sometimes hard to get through January. And then this January in particular has been super weird, because we found out right after New Year's that some of the friends we had celebrated with had just gotten sick and tested positive for COVID. So I think Kelsey and I started to feel some like just knowing that we had very likely caught it, we started to feel unwell. And now a few days after that, I'm feeling pretty much 100% fine, back to normal, and I think Kelsey is too. And so we're kind of like, I'm kind of wondering if maybe we just had like placebo anxiety symptoms. I'm actually still waiting for a result from the PCR that I did yesterday, but I would be shocked if it was positive, because I feel totally fine. But I mean, maybe we were the ones who were asymptomatically carrying it and spread it to the other people. COVID is weird. The other thing that kind of bothers me about January, and this is going to sound way more cynical than it really is, but I will explain. I really hate the mindset and culture of New Year's resolutions, because I really believe that like there's nothing special about January. There's no magical switch that gets flipped and suddenly it's going to be easier or more manageable to achieve your goals, and the only thing that changes is the clock. And if you want anything to change for you in your own life, that's completely within your power. And the thing that bothers me about New Year's, it kind of creates this illusion that there is something different about January, and there isn't. And I just am a really big proponent of personal growth, and I think that it's not a good mindset to have that there's anything special about January that's going to help you achieve your goals, if that makes sense. There's a really good podcast episode of the Creative Pep Talk that I listened to the other day, which is my favorite podcast. I talk about it constantly. And he talks about New Year's and how like essentially things don't change unless you do, right? Like unless you've implemented something that's going to make January different for you, January isn't going to be any different for you. I just think resolutions should be something you can make anytime. If you feel stuck and you feel frustrated, we should put on that same mindset that we do when New Year's comes around and think about what we want to change in our lives and how we're going to do it, and not let January have any kind of special sacred power in helping us be able to do that. Does that make sense? I hope that doesn't seem cynical, and I hope you don't feel judged if you did make a New Year's resolution, because I think the New Year's resolutions themselves are beautiful. Like, it's amazing that we want to improve ourselves, and we all are worthy of improving ourselves and living better lives. And I like believe that like deep in my soul. It's like the thing that wakes me up in the morning is knowing that I can keep improving every day. I believe in the power of resolutions at any time, and I think that New Year's resolutions shouldn't be given any more like power and importance than our resolutions to improve ourselves at any time of the year. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. Also, another thing is that I know I'm not the only one who really struggles with overproductivity and like trying to get too much done all the time and feeling overwhelmed and draining myself to the point that I'm struggling with mental health concerns because I'm just trying to be productive all the time. And this time of year I find is really bad for fostering that like productivity over self-care and self-kindness kind of mindset. And so I just want to say this to you and to myself. that it is very important that we always remain kind to ourselves and that we listen to our bodies, and that we, while it's like so valuable and so important to work on yourself, it is equally as important to rest, because it's an inherent need and it's an inherent right that we are resting enough to be able to do what we need to do. Because I've been to the point where I've burned myself out so much that I can't do anything, and I've learned the hard way that it's so much better to listen to yourself when you need a break, and what you'll be able to produce after a break is so much better anyways. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Yes, I thought today do a little vlogging because I'm just going to be spending most of the day in my studio, which, if you are a very observant human, you may have noticed that I changed things up in here a little bit. I want to do like a sort of studio tour kind of video. I think those are super fun, but it's not very done right now. It's in very in between stages. When I get there, I will, and I have a room that is more fully developed and has more to look at and ready to show off, then I will definitely do that. Right now, the thing that is making me the saddest is that I've got some cool stuff going on the walls on like one side, but I have this whole empty space that I want to fill up. I'm hoping to be able to just fill it with like art prints and stuff from artists I love and people that inspire me. So I'm working on that. So one of my overall goals for the year, which I very deliberately did not make a New Year's resolution, it's just going to be something I work on for the duration of the year or however long it takes me to do it, is to create like a full range of like art products that I've made. And I don't know yet what they're going to be. I'm thinking things like art prints and greeting cards, like thank you cards or birthday cards or notepads or washi tape, or like really anything that I could make. And my goal is to, because I started my Etsy shop last year and did kind of like a big launch with that, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but looking back on it now, I kind of want to like almost take another shot at that again, like start with a full range of products. I want to have more things this time. Last time I kind of did it in like I really wanted to do it, so I just did it kind of way, and I learned a lot through that process, and I'm really glad that I did it. But now I want to do it with more conviction and with more intention behind it. So yeah, over the next couple months I want to design a bunch of products, and then my goal is to, when I am at this point where I've got like this whole range of stuff, then I'm going to relaunch my shop. And I'm also hoping to maybe do some markets this year, get my things available at, there's lots of really cool places in my area that are shops that kind of sell things made by local makers, which is super cool, and I love that we have that. So I'm hoping to maybe sell some things at places like that. And I'm trying really hard. I initially was telling myself back a few months ago that I was going to aim to do this by like March, but I don't want to rush it. I want to just slowly start working on this and see how long it takes me and see where it goes. So yeah, that's a little update on my Illustrator life plans. But for today, I'm working on tackling my fear of landscapes. I started this little illustration of like a winter landscape that's inspired by a book I read recently, and I'm going to be working on that. But first I'm going to do some warm-up drawing practice. So that is what I will be taking you along with me for today. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a good day. I hope you stick around and hang out with me. I love and appreciate you.
means. It basically means God from within the machine, and it's a thing about storytelling. You know, whole way of thinking about how you're going to have some massive big break is actually antithetical to the majority of people. The rule. There are exceptions, but the
Popping in for a little afternoon update. I changed my sweater. I love this sweater because it's very not my style. It like screams like, I don't know. I don't wear a lot of black these days, and it's also very unlike me to wear something that says dark on it, but this is from like, I vlogged about it in the fall. It's like a Halloween event that is at Fort Edmonton Park. And I just love wearing this because it reminds me of that event. It's one of my favorite times of the year. But anyways, I've spent most of the afternoon working on this illustration, and it's given me hell, as can be expected when trying to tackle something that's new and hard, which is like trying to do a landscape and have all of the dimensions of things look right. I'm just like, I've been fine-tuning everything so much, and like I moved everything around, and I just can't like get it to look the way I want it to look. And I think I'm trying to decide whether just to like accept it for where it's at, or like if I should keep tweaking it until I'm really happy with it. But I don't know. That's always the struggle. That's always the struggle with every art piece. But I think I'm gonna call it for now because I'm getting really frustrated with it, and I've learned that it's better to just take a break and come back to it with a fresh brain, because I always have much better ideas and can do much more with it when I do that. So I'm still waiting for the results of my PCR test, which I thought for sure I'd have by now because I did it like 30 something hours ago, and they said it could take 1 to 3 days, but people that I've been hearing having about people who I have heard who have done it recently have gotten them back pretty quick. So I was kind of hoping, expecting to get it by now. At least I still have tomorrow to decide if if it's positive. I don't know if I can go back to work on Monday, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be negative, but I don't know. COVID works in weird ways. Hello friends, it is Sunday and I'm currently editing the video, the beginning of the video that you're watching right now, which feels kind of like cool and weirdly meta or something, but I got my COVID test results back and I'm officially negative. Go me. Hi friends, it's Editing Katie here with a little plot twist for you. So what you were just watching was from Sunday morning, which is yesterday morning, and then by yesterday afternoon I had a sore throat start to creep up, and it got worse throughout the evening, and I woke up and was feeling really bad sore throat and just generally achy and gross, and I took an antigen test and it was positive. The theme for this video is COVID is weird. I'm right now just feeling kind of like generally yucky, and of course like it's inconvenient and annoying to have a sore throat. Obviously I'm well enough that I have spent a lot of time this morning sitting at my desk and editing my video. I'm feeling really guilty I couldn't go to work today, but I am just glad that this happened before I went back to work instead of after, so I didn't spread it to anybody at work. But to be honest, I'm really struggling with like the side of myself that really wants to criticize myself for not being 100% careful and letting this happen, and there's a voice in my head that's like, yeah, just being really mean and shitty about it. And I'm trying really hard to drown that voice out with the other more compassionate voice that's saying it was okay that you took a little bit of a risk and you took the precautions that you could, and like I deserve this time to be able to rest, and it could have happened to anybody. And so yeah, I'm just struggling with that fight between those two voices in my head, but I will be actively working on letting the voice of compassion win, but it's going to be a bit of a struggle, so please send your good vibes my way. Anyways, I will let you get back to yesterday, Katie, who is blissfully unaware that this is about to happen. Stay safe, y'all, and remember that none of us are perfect and we're all just doing our best, and that's the best we can do. Today I'm finishing this video, also filming it, and going to hopefully take Parker out for a nice little jaunt later, because it's been so cold lately. We haven't gotten to take him on a real nice proper outing in a while. We've just been trying to like expel his energy in the backyard as quickly as possible so we can all come back inside because it's freezing. But now it's kind of okay-ish weather today, so hopefully if we bundle up it'll be pleasant-ish.